Your likes on Instagram could soon disappear. Social media platform is performing an international trial to remove likes from timelines. The move hopes to remove pressure on people chasing online approval. Your timeline will remain the same, but for each post that pops up, it won't give the number of people who have liked it. Joining us to discuss this potential change, author and mental health campaigner Hope Virgo and writer and broadcaster Riyadh Khalaf. Hello to you both. Hope, to you first of all. Is it a good idea?
So I think it is a really positive step in the right direction. However, I still don't think it's going far enough. As individuals, from my understanding, is we will still be able to see how many likes we're getting. And again, that is still going to have that pressure there, and it's going to probably be amplified in some kind of way because individuals will be judging that against themselves and maybe having these fake expectations. Maybe young people might be showing off a little bit about how many they get. And I think that whole issue around self-esteem and confidence isn't going to just be tackled by this. And I think whilst Instagram are clearly having steps in the right direction to do this, it's just not quite enough to actually really tackle the issues that come with using the app.
Riyadh, you are a social media influencer. You have a lot of people following you on Instagram. You get a lot of likes. And I'm guessing that's quite important when, as a brand ambassador for all sorts of things, people want to come to you and they want to see how many likes you get.
Well, this is it. I was actually hilariously in Instagram today just doing a talk. So I grabbed one of the staff members to the side and said to them, what's all this about? And how will it potentially impact that branded stuff that you mentioned? You know, so say, for instance, you've got a big cosmetics brand and they want to have 10 influencers on their next campaign. They will go out online and look for their dream team that they cast for that campaign. But now with this new thing that could be coming in that they're testing at the moment, they won't be able to tell what people's engagement is like, how their Instagram is performing. They'll have to physically reach out, say, hey, influencer A and B, can you please send us your engagement to prove to us that you're worthy of being in this campaign? So it could have a knock-on effect on people who use Instagram for a living to feed themselves and to pay their rent. But what Instagram is saying is they're actually okay with taking a commercial hit on their platform in the interest of the greater good and helping people's mental health, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Where are we? What's your response, reaction to that?
So I do agree with that, and I think, yes, it will have a knock-on effect, and it's brilliant that Instagram are happy with that and don't seem to be that bothered about it. But I wonder whether Instagram could be doing something else instead, and actually whether they should be trying to push out that more positive content, so stuff around recovery, stuff around mental health, and actually making sure that people are looking at the right stuff. And if they do that, then actually I think all of the stuff to do with how many likes we get will actually become less irrelevant and less relevant to actually how people are feeling.
Yeah. You can't force a platform to serve a particular message because Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, they're all user-generated content. So you, the user, the general public out there decides what the narrative is and you decide what you follow. So I do follow a lot of, mental well-being and mental health platforms, as well as just, fellas that look cute, the big old mix. And I think you are in the control seat in terms of who you decide to follow and how you curate your feed and what's shown to you. I think that this is a test that could go further, but being a huge international platform, they own Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, remember, they need to do these things gently and slowly so that they see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and I do agree with that. And I think actually we should be in control of the content that we're looking at. But actually, I think at some point we have to make sure that people are looking at the right stuff. I know that having had anorexia, I make sure that I follow content that actually is good for my recovery. I follow a lot of mental health stuff, and I make sure that the stuff that I'm posting out is all focusing on mental health, eating disorder recovery, and also focusing a lot on my campaign work. But every day I am still flooded with content around dieting and healthy eating and looking at images of people who are really, really skinny. And actually all of that stuff I'm not choosing to look at. Instagram are just bombarding me with that. And I think that's what Instagram need to be taking control of.
Riyadh, go.
Are they ads that you're being served, or is this content from people that you follow?
So it's ads, and I choose actively not to follow people who promote that messaging. So I don't engage in that kind of content. So it's mainly ads, or randomly on the search, on my search engine as well, I do get flooded with bits of stuff like that as well, which I'm always quite shocked at because I don't choose to follow that stuff.
Yeah. I think what I do generally when I'm served stuff that I either don't want or I find is damaging to my mental health is I go to the side options and make sure that I click I don't want to see this. And those actions send signals to whatever platform you're on about what you do and don't want to see. I totally agree with you that damaging stuff like that should never make it through the advertising net. There should be a very strict code of conduct about who gets to advertise on a public platform like Instagram. But I guess one thing, Kay, we've spoken about it before, is young people online being bullied and being followed home from school with that bullying and the trolling that can happen. It drove me offline for 7-8 years because of all the stuff that I was getting. But now, another thing that Instagram is bringing in, it's really interesting. If you write a comment to another user and their machine that has learned a load of phrases, if it picks up something nasty or something that might be hurtful, they're now flagging that comment, almost sending you a nudge to say, this is potentially damaging and hurtful to the person you're sending it to. Do you want to still send it, or do you want to retract it? And they've had a 70% rate of people that have decided not to go ahead with the comment. So things like this, I think, are a really good sign that the platforms are no longer just letting it be an online war zone. They're actually taking back control and gently policing what happens online. But we do need more.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody like me that doesn't really care about likes, for example, although I do get, I hear what you say about being bombarded with ads and that sort of thing. I do tend to get rid of those ads as quickly as I can. But you're right about the search, and you go in and I get stuff that I don't particularly want. That's potentially, I don't know, something different to what we're talking about when it comes to likes. And the likes is just about whether you feel that you are being popular with your peers and you want your peers to see how popular you are or not. Do you accept that that could damage Riyadh, a business like Riyadh has on social media?
No, and I think it has the potential to do that. And particularly for people who are starting out their careers as influencers, who aren't well known in that kind of sector, in that industry, I think it has that potential to damage what they're doing. But potentially still is a step in the right direction to maybe help people to feel better about themselves and to maybe reduce that whole comparison side of things.
Okay, and just to sum up, Riyadh, should we really care about how many likes we have? Does it not, as we were just hearing, potentially have an effect on people's self-esteem?
Oh, it absolutely does. Look, I'm 28 years old and I've been online since when I can remember. And even through really conscious trying to not let this infiltrate my mind, I still find myself on a night out, or if I'm on a date with my fella, picking up the phone and going, how did that post perform? And if it hasn't reached the number that I've set myself in my head, then it kind of ruins the night. So we've made a rule in our relationship. Phones go away, they stay down, and we don't look at them. And we actually don't post as well before a big thing, a big event or a big dinner. And that's us at 28. Can you imagine what it's like as a 12-year-old online, and everything centers around looking normal and looking like you were popular? So I really, I'm happy about this test that they're doing. And if they do end up bringing it to the UK, I think it would not just help a lot of young people's mental health, but my own. And I think that that's a good thing. I don't think I'm going to lose money. I don't think other people who work in the digital space will lose money in the long run. I think we might have a bit of a lull, but in the long run, this is better for all of us, I think.
Checks likes on phone as talking to both of you. It's good to talk to you. Thank you. Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.